you mean these niggas got HIV around me and I gotta drink with these?
Nobody warned the young ones. Nobody told them what that invitation truly meant, or what they would be forced to sacrifice just to walk through that door. Because the real price of admission was never money.
He's talking in code. No, the nigga was bent over the couch. Who? Meek Mill?
We knew Clive Davis was the man seemingly behind Diddy's criminal empire.
Also, would like for everyone to be mindful of the thirst and the urgency and the need to speak on the situation.
The people who knew the most often said the least. But here's the connection most people still haven't made. The parties, the names, the silence, and the health rumors all seem to point back to one disturbing story. And today, we're tracing that story from the beginning. First, understand this. When people talk about Diddy's alleged freak-offs, the wild Vegas nights, and the private gatherings examined in lawsuits and federal proceedings, they're not describing ordinary celebrity parties. Multiple witnesses, former associates, and insiders have portrayed them as carefully controlled environments, less like parties and more like traps. And according to those accounts, the people pulled in weren't always random. Some were young, ambitious, vulnerable, or desperate for approval from someone at the top of the industry. That context matters when the names start making sense. Now, consider Orlando Brown. Years before Cassie's lawsuit and the federal raids, Orlando appeared on podcasts and interviews, making explosive claims and naming names. The public dismissed him, calling him crazy, desperate, or hungry for attention. But years later, parts of what he claimed began to echo allegations raised in lawsuits, testimony, and official investigations. So the question is no longer simply whether Orlando Brown was acting out. The real question is, was he trying to warn people?
Don't do it.
Don't do it?
Nah, you don't want to be no actor. You don't want to be no singer.
That raw, emotional moment when Orlando Brown broke down and begged young people to stay away from the entertainment industry didn't feel like a performance. It felt like someone struggling to explain a pain he had carried for years. And when the interviewer asked why career advice had made him so emotional, Orlando didn't laugh it off or change the subject. He became even more visibly shaken.
You gotta be careful with what you're asking for. And you're not gonna just get music, and you're not gonna just get TV very easy. These demons come very swiftly.
These demons come very swiftly. Orlando wasn't talking about industry politics or contract disputes. He used the word demons. To some viewers, that sounded like a disturbing reference to something deeply personal, something he claimed happened behind closed doors. Whether people believed him or not, the timeline raises serious questions. Orlando has claimed that he first crossed paths with Diddy when he was around 15 or 16 years old.
How old were you when you met him?
Like 16, 15?
Let's put the timeline together. If Orlando's account is accurate, he was around 15 in 2002. That same year, Diddy appeared on Nickelodeon's All That, the same network where Orlando was working at the time. When that clip resurfaced, Cat Williams shared it on Instagram stories with one chilling caption, "They're all in it." That post didn't independently prove every allegation, but it reignited a disturbing question. How easily could powerful adults gain access to young talent? Because Orlando wasn't speaking vaguely about the industry. Across multiple interviews, he named specific high-profile rappers he claimed were connected to Diddy's circle and party network, and alleged intimate encounters with some of them.
Made love. We made love.
Who you made love with?
Diddy, Bow Wow, Busta Rhymes.
You just told me you see Busta in the airport too. That motherfucker tried to act like he didn't know you. You smashed Drake?
No, I never smashed.
Oh, you made love to Drake.
Terrence Howard.
Terrence Howard.
Terrence Howard. Usher. Usher's a gusher.
Before we go any further, let's be clear. These are allegations. Orlando's claims remain unverified by the people he named and should not be treated as proven facts. But the timing is what keeps bringing them back into the conversation. Orlando made these statements years before the federal case, Cassie's lawsuit, the raids, and the story becoming mainstream. Later, some of the names he mentioned appeared in lawsuits, documentaries, or public controversies connected to Diddy's circle. That doesn't prove Orlando's claims, but it explains why people still refuse to dismiss them completely. And one name keeps resurfacing: Busta Rhymes. When Diddy's legal troubles exploded, the entertainment industry seemed to split into two groups. Some people went silent, scrubbed their social media, or suddenly became impossible to reach. Others publicly defended Diddy, urging everyone to slow down and wait for the truth. Busta Rhymes fell into that second group. At the premiere of Venom: The Last Dance, Busta went on camera and told people to back off. His message was simple: let the truth come out.
I think a lot of times people don't realize how insensitive it could be to have opinions on things that you have no understanding of outside of what you're being taught.
On the surface, wait for the facts sounds reasonable. But in celebrity culture, the way someone defends another person can matter just as much as the defense itself. Busta didn't simply ask people to be patient. He reportedly called the public conversation thirsty, leading critics to accuse him of dismissing legitimate concerns as attention-seeking. That reaction drew attention because of his complicated history with LGBTQ+ controversies. When Frank Ocean came out, Busta spoke about personal freedom in measured, respectful terms. But separate reports and online accounts have accused him of acting very differently in other situations, allegedly confronting a gay fan, using homophobic language, or reacting aggressively after being called gay. His former bodyguard, Big Homie CCE, also made unverified claims about unusual requests involving young men in Busta's entourage. Then, a viral account from an openly gay YouTuber added another layer. He claimed Busta approached him outside a club, held his hand, and invited him into a VIP section. None of these accounts independently proves anything, but together, they raise an uncomfortable question. Why does Busta's public image appear so different from these reported private encounters?
Busta Rhymes just grabbed my hand. And he holding my hand. Now, I ain't know it was Busta at first.
Taken individually, any one of these stories can be dismissed. But investigative storytelling looks for recurring themes, not to prove an allegation, but to understand why the same questions keep returning. Across different years and situations, similar claims have surfaced from people who say they had no connection to one another. That may be a pattern worth examining, but it still isn't proof. Critics point to Busta's public defensiveness, alleged overreactions, and the apparent contrast between some of his public statements and reported private encounters. They argue that this resembles the behavior often associated with people in Diddy's orbit who may have had something to protect. And that brings Ice Cube into the conversation. Cube has built a reputation for speaking directly about Hollywood's gatekeepers and calling out the power structures that decide who rises and who gets pushed aside.
I'm talking about the club of gatekeepers that we all got to deal with.
Ice Cube describes a system built on loyalty, leverage, and silence. A network where people stay protected as long as they remain aligned. Some critics believe Busta's public defense of Diddy was more than simple friendship. They saw it as a signal that he was still standing on the right side of the industry's power structure. But that remains speculation. Now let's talk about Meek Mill, because his name became one of the most discussed examples of what can happen when someone is rumored to be connected to Diddy's orbit. It began with a footnote, literally. The lawsuit filed by former Diddy producer Rodney Lil Rod Jones referenced a redacted individual described as a Philadelphia rapper who had dated Nicki Minaj. Online users quickly began speculating about the identity. Meek's response only intensified the discussion. Instead of making one brief statement, he posted repeatedly and aggressively on Twitter, pushing back against the rumors. That reaction fueled even more speculation, but it did not by itself prove that Meek was the person referenced in the lawsuit or that he had done anything wrong.
Mill says he will pay $100,000 to an investigator to find out why his name is being tied in with the Diddy allegation.
Meek even offered $100,000 for investigators to prove he had nothing to do with Diddy. Legal commentators immediately focused on the way he responded. They argued that most people facing serious rumors would rely on lawyers, evidence, and the legal process. Instead, Meek launched repeated posts, made public threats toward journalists covering the story, and tried to control the narrative in real time. Critics called it panic management, an attempt to contain the damage before the facts could spread. But to be clear, an emotional public reaction is not proof of guilt. And Orlando Brown, who had been discussing Meek's alleged connection to Diddy long before the lawsuit, had a very specific response to that $100,000 offer.
You can't take back what your butthole received.
Orlando's words were harsh, even crude, but his point was clear. In his view, no amount of money could erase what he believed had happened. Then Oschino, a figure deeply familiar with Philadelphia's rap scene, weighed in. He offered his own explanation for why Meek reacted so intensely to the Diddy allegations, and why, based on what he claimed to have witnessed over the years, that reaction made sense to him.
Meek fanned out. Meek's a real groupie. He famous for a groupie. You notice he everybody in other states and dick jump around and all that. He want to be in Philly. He want to be down, right? That's why people in Philly, they're not famous enough. You notice every time Philly start popping, he want to come.
Philadelphia's hip-hop scene has always been intensely protective of its reputation. That's why several voices from the community have spoken publicly about how uncomfortable it was to see someone known for street credibility repeatedly linked, allegedly, to Diddy's party circuit. For them, the issue wasn't just the rumor itself. It was the contradiction between Meek's public image and the associations being discussed.
Everybody kind of knew back in the day that Meek Mills and Puff was a little too friendly. Anytime two rappers or two people in the industry come dressed up alike on more than one occasion, listen here, man. My dudes in Philly, I got some real strong dudes in Philly. They don't play that shit. And they probably embarrassed for the fact to see that Meek Mills, one of the street guys that came out of there, got caught up in this Hollywood shit.
Then there's the birthday party. On May 3rd, 2014, Diddy allegedly paid $25,000 to rent a Las Vegas venue for Meek Mill's 27th birthday. But the real controversy came from what reportedly happened afterward. Property manager Jason Hayes later described the aftermath in testimony referenced by public court documents: stained sheets, suspected drug residue, and damage that raised serious questions. But one detail drew the most attention. According to the account, Diddy allegedly requested bedroom doors with locks that could be secured from both sides, and reportedly insisted that only he have the keys. If accurate, that detail raises a disturbing question about what kind of privacy and control existed inside those rooms.
They said they found loads of cocaine, razor blades. They said that the sheets were bloody, nasty. They found a whole lot of used condoms. And it was a Diddy party, giving in Meek Mill's honor for his birthday.
Gene Deal, Diddy's former personal bodyguard, reportedly reacted to those details with grim recognition rather than surprise, as if he had seen similar situations before. That reaction matters to some viewers because Gene spent years close to Diddy's inner circle. Supporters describe him as someone who speaks from experience, not simply for attention. So when a former insider suggests that certain boundaries may have been crossed, people pay attention. But now we have to address one of the most serious allegations in this story. It isn't coming from Orlando alone. Other people have made similar claims about the alleged conditions surrounding Diddy's parties. In one interview, Orlando alleged that the people involved were so closely connected and the encounters so intertwined that the spread of serious infections became part of the larger controversy. These claims remain unverified, and no allegation should be treated as medical fact without credible evidence.
What do you mean these niggas got HIV around me and I gotta drink with these?
Jaguar Wright, whose past industry claims have often been disputed, made a similar allegation separately. She said she could name at least 20 men in the music industry who had allegedly contracted HIV while continuing to work publicly without anyone knowing. However, she did not publicly identify those individuals, and the claim has not been independently verified. That distinction matters, because speculation about someone's medical status can cause real harm. Still, her statement added another layer to the rumors already surrounding Diddy's alleged party network.
How many dudes is running around undetectable, G?
Come on,
In the game?
man.
Because I could tell you 20 right now that I could rattle off names, and wouldn't nobody be able to sue me.
At first glance, two people with industry connections making similar allegations may seem significant, but similar claims are not automatically proof, and both accounts remain unverified. The reason people continue discussing them is the potential impact on young artists. If these allegations were ever substantiated, the danger would go far beyond reputation or career damage. It would involve consent, health, and life-changing consequences. Many aspiring artists enter the industry desperate for an opportunity, without fully understanding the environments they may be entering. That's why Busta Rhymes' public defense of Diddy remains part of the larger conversation. Not because it proves he knew anything or participated in wrongdoing, but because it raises questions about what people close to that circle may have seen or heard. Busta told the public to mind their business and let the truth come out. But if anyone truly knew what was happening behind those doors, the question is simple: will they finally let that truth come out?
Would like for everyone to be mindful of the thirst and the urgency and the need to speak on the situation.
To his critics, that wasn't a neutral statement. It sounded less like a defense of Diddy and more like a plea for the public to stop demanding answers. Listen to it again with fresh ears. He didn't directly say the allegations were false. He didn't defend Diddy's character. He urged people to slow down and wait. And that raises an uncomfortable question. Who benefits when the pressure slows down? Who needs more time when the walls appear to be closing in? Because any system built on secrecy depends on silence. If the allegations were true, the moment one person began speaking openly, the entire structure could start to shake. Orlando Brown had been speaking for years, but he was easy for the public to dismiss because of his unpredictable interviews, controversial behavior, and moments people turned into jokes. That made it easier to ignore the claims hidden underneath.
Somebody getting bent over the couch. Is that a code? He's talking in code. No, the nigga was bent over the couch. Who? Meek Mill?
But what happens when people viewed as more credible, lawyers, executives, and industry insiders, begin raising concerns that resemble what Orlando said years earlier? Gene Deal has publicly claimed that recordings from Diddy's parties exist, that multiple celebrities may appear in them, and that federal investigators have been carefully working through witness accounts. Those claims have not been independently confirmed, but if recordings or witness testimony do exist, they could change the conversation completely, because suddenly, it wouldn't be one person making accusations. It would become a question of evidence, records, and who knew what.
What Lil Rob said. Lil Rob said in this affidavit that Diddy had every room taped and bugged. Diddy had, bro, can you imagine? He had every room taped and bugged, and they found little bugs and little tape recorders. I mean, little those micro projectors or whatever like that, or video cameras. They found them in the house, bro. So by them having those things in the house, and people know there's drugs, there's alcohol, there's loose women, there's loose men, woman on woman, man on man.
If Gene Deal's claims about recorded rooms are accurate, the implications would be enormous. Think about what that could mean for everyone who attended those parties, and for the wall of silence surrounding them. People can choose not to speak. They can deny the allegations, hire investigators, or offer $100,000 to prove their innocence. But if recordings were made without their knowledge, they can't choose whether their image or voice appears on them. And that may explain why the silence now seems to be cracking. Not necessarily because everyone suddenly found a conscience, but because the risk may have changed. When evidence exists and investigators have access to it, silence may stop feeling like protection. It can start looking like liability.
I don't believe that none of the people who are his celebrity friends is going to speak or say nothing until they're either contacted or they know what they really got.
One theory is that people connected to those parties are waiting to see what investigators actually have before they say anything publicly. If recordings or witness accounts exist, staying silent may feel safer than explaining yourself too early. That could help explain the public reactions we've seen. Busta Rhymes telling people to calm down, Meek Mill publicly offering $100,000 to clear his name, and industry figures suddenly becoming more private. None of that proves wrongdoing, but it has created the impression that many people are waiting for the same answer. What evidence exists, and who might appear in it? Now, let's return to something Orlando Brown said that often gets overlooked. Behind the unpredictable behavior, the cryptic language, and the moments turned into memes, he has repeated one message for years: a warning.
Don't do it.
Nah, you don't want to be no actor. You don't want to be no singer. You want to be an astronaut. You want to be a scientist. You want to be a doctor. You want to be a lawyer. You don't want to be no actor. You don't want to be no singer. You don't want to do nothing in entertainment. It's on things that are natural and that are from God.
It's easy to label Orlando Brown as crazy and dismiss everything he says. But that doesn't answer the bigger question. What was he trying to warn people about? He entered the entertainment industry as a child and has described experiences he says left lasting damage. His words have often been chaotic and difficult to follow, but the warning itself has remained consistent. He doesn't want young artists walking blindly into dangerous situations. The Diddy case has exposed serious allegations and proven wrongdoing, but it does not automatically verify every claim made by Orlando Brown, Jaguar Wright, Gene Deal, or anyone else. Their statements remain allegations, and the most serious health-related claims have not been independently confirmed. That distinction matters, but so does the larger issue. Young, ambitious artists can become vulnerable when access, money, gratitude, and career opportunities are controlled by powerful gatekeepers. No opportunity should require someone to surrender their boundaries, safety, or silence. And one conviction does not instantly change an entire industry. The culture of access and secrecy can continue unless people are willing to question it, and unless credible evidence is taken seriously. The names connected to this story: Orlando Brown, Meek Mill, Busta Rhymes, Gene Deal, and Jaguar Wright, do not automatically prove one unified conspiracy, but their statements have created questions that deserve evidence-based answers. The truth won't be decided by viral clips, rumors, or social media speculation. It will come from verified recordings, court documents, testimony, and official findings. So what do you think? Has Orlando Brown's warning been unfairly dismissed, or do you believe his claims remain too unverified to trust? Share your thoughts below and subscribe for future updates as more confirmed information emerges.